back to Undercover. We're here with the Black Ryder, or Amy and Scott from the Black Ryder. Well, you are the Black Ryder, really.
Yes. Yeah.
Do you like how many times I got the band name into that intro?
Yeah, that was very good.
Once more at the end would be good.
Yeah. Okay, the Black Ryder.
Yeah.
Oh, at the end.
Mm-hmm.
No, well, we
can do it. We won't get it at the end. It's fine.
We're sporting team colours.
We are.
So are you?
True. Well, yeah,
Very
I've
good.
got blue jeans on,
Thanks.
but you probably can't see it.
No.
But yeah, I did wear this specifically for this interview, actually.
Thank you.
So you got the facts before we came.
Exactly.
Excellent, great.
Yes. But I had to dig the fax machine out.
All right. Sorry, we'll move to email next year.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now, you guys have recently released your debut album, Buy the Ticket, Take the Ride. That's longer than the Black Rider, so I won't say that so many times. But it kind of sounds like this big hazy dream, you know, and it's your brainchild. You guys, apart from a few guest spots, play all the instruments. I mean, how did you actually envisage these songs, you know, from when they were first conceived?
Wow. Do you want me to take that one?
Yeah, you take that one.
I don't think that it wasn't an album that was thought out in the way that we had done, you know, a traditional kind of pre-production session. We had all of our songs written. We knew what we were doing before we went, you know, before we started recording in the studio. The whole process was all done together. So we were writing and recording, I guess, what we thought were demos at the time, but then just evolved into the album. And then, so I guess it was, we didn't really have that grand vision in the end. We started with just what we knew and writing some songs and getting some sounds together and buying some equipment and seeing what that equipment could do. It was all really very much a tinkering in the studio process. It is very much a studio album, like, as you can probably tell from the fact that we've taken quite a long period to put it together. So there was no grand vision. It was really just learn as we go, and that's kind of what we ended up with.
So they kind of just built up over time then?
Very much.
Yeah.
There's probably, you know, another 99 mixes of every song on the album in the year and a half before that.
So that's the problem with having your own gear, isn't it?
Yeah.
You never know when to stop.
Yes, we really did, because Scott engineered the whole album, but then we mixed it together, so because it was in our house, you really feel guilty if you're not working on it just to finish it, and any spare moment of time, it sounds a bit crazy for a bit, because you just kind of always feel like you have to chip away until you finish it. So there are a couple of months of insanity,
yeah.
I think.
I mean, that's the downside. That obviously the great side is the fact that you can just work whenever you want to do work, and you know, if you feel like you want to work from, you know, all day and go right through to the night, you're not looking at the clock, you're not thinking about how much money it's costing you, and it just adds to the creativity because there's no time pressure ever. But again, it's yeah.
I was going to say, we actually did have a whole other album almost recorded, and then when I was overseas and Scott was, they were a different kind of format, and then I got a call saying when you were merging that we lost basically everything that we'd recorded. We didn't back up back then, now we do. And so yeah, the album could have sounded very, very different. So basically started from scratch.
That's right. There's a missing album that will never be released.
Right.
Because it's still missing.
But it might be released somewhere. Someone might find that and go, "Oh, that's pretty good."
Yeah.
The Black Who's cool.
very, very possibly. I might be looking one day and find a couple of tracks. You never know.
Yeah. Not only is it a very musical album, it almost sounds like it's more of a soundscape than a collection of songs. But you also seem to have very intense lyrics on there.
Oh,
as well.
Like what?
Like,
you picked up
I knew
on.
I should
You
have
got your
I
little
knew you were going to
notes.
ask that.
Well.
But like the song "Let It Go."
Yeah.
You know, that doesn't really sound like just a breakup song or something. That to me sounded like a song of someone who's completely and utterly emotionally drained.
Yeah, it's probably
that's one of yours, Amy. You have
It is. I guess there's a lot of that in the album, because it was an interesting time coming back here after being a part of another band who will remain nameless, and then coming back and then finding ourselves not in that band. So it was kind of like a breakup of sorts, I guess, and there were a whole bunch of emotions and And just, it was kind of a bit of a head trip coming back and then starting this project. And yeah, I don't know, I think Let It Go is probably an intense kind of longing, because I read someone say the lyrics are contradictory. It's like there's nothing left to give you except for everything. They were like, oh. And then I thought about it and I was like, I don't kind of know what I mean when I write that, but maybe, it contradicts itself. But yeah, I don't know. It's more mood driven, and at the time, whatever just kind of pops out of your head.
Is that the case for both of you writing lyrics? You know, it's just kind of whatever comes out?
Yeah, I mean, there's always the songs that are kind of very much stream of consciousness. That, you know, if you feel like you've got a melody in your head and it's 3 a.m, you want to get down there, and sometimes you want to just get the idea down. And occasionally when you first do that, I know I do, I actually try to make up some words just so I can get the melody, you know, on tape, so I've got something to remember. Sometimes the stream of consciousness stuff that happens then brings out ideas and words, and sometimes you make up words that will stay there later on, and then you flesh it out a little bit later. And of course other times you sit away from the music and you sit down with a pen and paper and kind of come up with something different.
So you weren't actually writing songs with an album in mind. It really sounds like this whole album just kind of almost grew on its own.
We kind of we shut ourselves away from the world, I think, for about 3 months. And just kind of, you know, started building the studio and getting more and more guitar pedals, because we just kind of went a bit crazy. It was like we want to explore as many different sounds.
I think it said that even in your bio.
Oh, really?
Or maybe it was somewhere else.
Did we say
Sorry
that?
if I just quoted someone else.
All right.
You went nuts with guitar pedals.
We did. It was because I guess, as well as, you know, just getting out of a band where we had very different. I mean, you were playing bass.
That's
I was
right.
playing keyboards, percussion, guitar, and singing. So it was kind of, and I never used pedals in that band. But so that I guess
I'd been a bass player my whole life, so this was a real change for us, and the fact that we're just doing our own thing and it's going to be our music and our songs. But we made a decision very early on that because it's us two, if this can move anywhere, for us the basis of the sound is the vocals and the guitars. And a lot of bass players and drummers are going to hate me right now, but I was a bass player all my life, and I just knew that it would be easier. Back then we didn't know who we were going to get to play bass or play drums or do anything else. But the essence of the Black Ryder sound was going to be that, so we had to be that. We had to learn the guitar and we had to play it better, and we had to, you know, work out what we needed and what sounds to create and how we created those sounds and what pedals did those, and, you know, and also on the engineering side as well, work out how to transform that into something that makes sense to other people, so they don't kind of, you know, put their hands on their ears when we release it and go, what the hell is this? So it was just such an evolution in so many ways.
Yeah.
It was a massive learning process for both of us.
I like that technique too, saying, well, we just want to make an album that people don't want to block out.
Yeah.
Don't want to run screaming from,
Setting your sights pretty high there.
Yeah.